What's up, ninjas? My passion is to make dance music, share it with the world, and also share the knowledge, teach people how to do just the same so that they can make their ideas come to fruition and we can all contribute to this community that has brought me so much joy over my lifetime. In today's video, I want to present to you guys the idea of making your own beats, your own house beats, and the power that comes from that instead of relying on top loops. Now, I'm not saying stop using top loops, but what I am saying is have the utmost control over majority of the drums as you can, and then use top loops to supplement. Don't do it the other way around where a top loop is your main drum, because then if you ask me the question, Sen, my drums don't hit, and I say, well, what are you using? And you say a T-based drum loop, you know, if you know, you know, then I'm gonna be like, there you go. All right, guys, so get a 909 chord kit. Okay, in Ableton, and that's gonna be like our 909 drum machine because we can't afford one. They're like $5,000. Drum on the 1, 2, 3, and 4, which from there the clap's gonna land on the 1.2 and the 1.4 here. We're gonna put the open hi-hat on the offbeat, which is gonna be on the 0.3, 1.1.3, 1.2.3, and we're gonna copy that across. If you don't wanna do your own beats, at least do this and make sure that your open hat, your clap, and your kick are high quality. That's it. If you have control over these guys, your top loops are the Sanchas, they're the side. Very basic beat. If you know how to do this, sick. From here, it's time to program the closed hat. Okay, now the closed hi-hat, you wanna respect the space of the open hat. The open hat's always landing here. Okay, just taking this up. When I play the closed hi-hat, I always want to respect the space of the open hat. But let's say that you don't. Well, here's the beautiful thing about the 909 drum machine. It will shut off, it will choke the open hat. Okay, now if we go here and we go to list and we go IO, you're gonna see there's a choke group. I don't know, some people getting excited like, ooh, who can choke? So we have that close hi-hat going to 1 and the open hat going to 1. So anytime they play together, they will shut each other up. You know, it's like a married couple, bro. Useful because you have to ask yourself, why is it this way? Well, the close hi-hat and the open hat both take up the same frequency, the highs and the mids. And, you know, if you know anything about phasing or you know anything about masking, phasing occurs when you have a sound that's very similar and is playing the polar opposite of the other sounds. There's a cancellation of the sound, you lose power. So I'll leave this thought with you guys, okay? Do you think it makes sense to layer 3 claps together? Do you think it makes sense to layer 4 open hats together? Knowing this, risking this, you answer that question. You're gonna respect the open hat and let's play. Now with closed hi-hats, 16th grid, and we're just gonna work around, feel it out, you know, dance. Oh, I wanna do this and that. Let the flow, let the energy run through you. Now, here's the beautiful thing. From here, velocity can now take place. Velocity is, let's say, volume of the drum, how loud something's being hit. You're telling the sampler, I wanted to play this loud. Now start to make this come to life by lowering down the velocity on some of the notes. What I want you to think about this is like, imagine you're tapping the key and go like, this one I would tap a little light, so it's like, and then this one really hard, so it's like, okay, and then we get this. Now, here's the beautiful thing. You can do that with the open hat, the clap, the bass drum, maybe not, but the clap. Now, I did have a student once that came in. I take on students one-on-one, and one of the ones that I put a smile on their face was when they asked me, yo, there's this track, and I can't figure out how the hell they get it to sound so lively. The key thing was velocities. Once he heard that, he was like, songs that might not need it, and that's fine. What I am presenting to you is something that you choose when to do. I'm gonna make the clap a little quieter on the first hit. And then we bring this drum loop to life. We can implement a groove from Ableton. 116s are usually the more popular ones, but again, hey, if everyone uses 116, you go what? 132nd. You outdo them by one. All right, anyways, we're gonna go 116. The higher the number to the swing, the more aggressive that swing is. Other thing now we can start to implement are accents, and this is something that, again, when you use a top loop and rely on top loops, you don't learn or do enough, which is key to getting music just to have more depth. You want your music to be simple, your drum loops to be simple, but a lot of depth. You don't want to sound like everyone else with a 116 shaker or perk half the time, and it's like, where's the groove? All right, so you can use a ride, put this here to accent the open hat. Check it. And you can choose where you accent. Now we're going to increase the length to 2 bars to allow for this accent to matter. Copy, booyah. Look at that. That's simple. But you can see how it just brings everything to life. At the end, I'm going to add a double clap. Velocity on that clap. Now, let's go to 4. And let's copy and paste this. Now, here's the beautiful part. Now you're learning theory. You're learning how to keep the loop interesting. After 4, we want to work our way back into the loop again. We want a turnaround. And a turnaround is beautiful because it makes that drum loop just more lively. I'm going to do whatever. And you're going to see it sounds good. Here we go. That's the odd snare, bro. We need the other one. Velocities, my fam. Let's do it. Move it up, move it down. This is just, again, volume. Now you guys know where we're about to go. 8 bars. Where else can we go? 8 bars. And now, at that last 8 bar, if you've made music for a while, you know what you must do. You must remove the low end of our bass drum. I'll just opt it out just for this tutorial. And do something cool. Here's the powerful thing about this. Every single drum in here I have control over, because now, and this is usually why I teach my students, get the beat out with the 909 and then switch out the drums and use drums that you know work. So for instance, Evil Sounds, I got James Hype using my packs. I got David Guetta, Mal P, West End, Deeper's Purpose. Some of these guys even have sound banks, but they still keep coming back for a reason. Anyways, I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm just trying to lead you guys to the right choice. But I'm kidding. There's a lot of great drums out there. It's up to you to decide what's good, which ones you vibe with more than others. So I'm going to go with my own. We're going to go with changing the kick out. So we're going to go bass drum, just swap it out. Now, this is where this drum loop starts to take more shape, because depending on the drums you pick and the vibe you create, you can change a lot of it up, like the kind of open hat, and that's what's going to define what genre the drums are set in. Now, you don't have to define it, but if you're like, I want to make this or I want to make that, then you got to pick the drums that fit that vibe, okay? I don't even know what that is. Oh my God, that's gnarly. Close hat. I don't know what that is. Just put it in. Now, notice how this is taking on more character now. Now it's not too boring like a Roland drum machine. And that's what we're doing. We're using the Roland system in order to create our own vibe, okay? Look how easy that is. Now let's add a drum loop, you know? Like, I'm going to create a drum loop. I've currently been working on a new minimal pack. And again, my goal in life is to help people make the music they want, make it as easy as possible. It doesn't mean that it's easy in that sense. It's just sometimes in life, there's stuff that gets complicated. And when it gets complicated, you guys know there's always a simple way. But we're human, you know? We're always seeking the harder way for some reason when, you know, everything is here, brothers. All right, so I've made some presets where I really just want to get them to sound good for you guys. From here, let's see, I think I was putting some midis and stuff, but if not, we're just going to run like a sequencer real quick on it. Like the Acid Gen one is really good. Well, that was lucky, ain't it? I ain't got no sidechain. Let's add it. From here, as we work on the song, we gotta shape the ride and the crash, obviously. So the ride, we can tune it down or lower the sustain on it, so that way we can shape this decay, which is sustain down. The decay controls how long it lasts. Look at that. Simple. Let's put a shaker in just so that we can teach people to do a shaker. We use a drum rack, go deceiver 6, drum one shots. We're just gonna go shakers. You can use one, you can use multiple, it's up to you. And it's the same thing, except now you can do AAB or AAA, and then the velocity will change and you dictate the vibe with this velocity. It's so huge, so huge. Look at that. And of course, we're going to put the same groove on it. Let's do an auto pan. And also double kick there now. So with the kick, like I was saying before, sometimes you might want to do a double kick. The last thing to add is to lower the velocity on that double kick so you get more dynamics. Just grooving. Now we can go 16ths. The only thing that changes now is that we have to add accents. And if you notice, if we use the same ride for accents, you're going to realize that, oh, if I have accents with open hats, I cannot have them anymore because the rides are going to take everything up. Again, we're learning to treat music like how it should be treated. A limited amount of space is there and you have to make do with it. So let's do that. Don't look at me. You follow what I preach and you follow what I teach. This is when I say use a drum loop. And use a drum loop that aids. Don't use drum loops because you're like, it's empty. Maybe the drum loop will help though. But this is when you use the drum loop. When you need congos, maybe like something, you know, then go with the congo in there. But this is what I want you to do. Beats mode, Command U, Control U to sync it up. You're going to gate it a bit. And then you're going to add the same groove we have. EQ. Respect the highs. Don't look at me. I ain't even trying. I'm not trying. And again, this works for any style of music that you are going to be making. Making your own house beats gives you power. It helps you understand the relationship between everything, why the closed and open hat shouldn't overlap, why you shouldn't be layering drums because of phasing. Again, there's a lot, guys. And I haven't even beefed this up yet with saturation on my individual ones, which is one of the strongest things, again, you're going to have is that, look, I have the kick here. Look, I have the clap, close hat, and I can, guess what, process each one individually. When you have a top loop, you can't do that to it all. Now, but again, with this video, it's not about no top loops, okay? Use the top loops, but what I want you to do is see the top loops as the backup singer, the sancha, the ex-wife, or like that you're still messing around, whatever it is, the side chick, okay? You have your main drums, the main ones, your main friends. You F those, you control those, and then let the top loops be the background stuff for like little things and that, but do not rely on top loops too much. And if you do, then you know what it's up. No, like there's pros and cons with both. I find more joy in doing this and then using top loops, and hopefully you will too. With that being said, if you guys enjoyed the video, consider following for more music production content. I have a new song coming out this Friday, so if you want to support your boy, again, it's out this Friday. You'll be able to see it on my Spotify, as well as Minimal Nights, a sound bank that many of you guys have been asking for, is coming out next Friday, so be on the lookout for that as well. But with that being said, guys, I hope that I made your day. I hope I inspired a little. Get to making music, and if you guys want to continue your knowledge forward, consider watching this video where I talk about how to beef your drums. Okay, watch it, use it in correlation with this video. It will tie in like a damn baby knot, and I promise you that you're gonna have probably the best drums you've ever had.